Oh my god. Can everyone hear me? This is really sharp. I should have done a few test streams, but you know. It's a new place. It's a new place. So, I hope that things are going well. Okay, I need everyone to like tell me how things are going, because it looks like my stream's doing okay. We've gone down in frames, but you know, it's better than nothing, yeah. Alright, let's see. Okay. Raise a hand if you can see this, chat. Jesus Christ. I'm not having the best time, but you know, it's better than no time. So yeah, we're gonna be taking a look at Lulu today. So I guess if anyone's here, we're gonna try and keep things the way that they are. And it's just kind of oh, there's so much stream delay. Oh my god. Alright. Fucking Lulu. Okay. She's a fun little creature. You can just she stares right into your soul. I've been planning this for ages. Alright. I don't know how to get back into it after that, you know? So I always forgot that she had a bag, but I think it's because of her description and the what's it called? In the short stories, Lulu has multiple pockets on her dress instead of being referred to as having a bag. It's the only really Bandle City thing on her. With this, you can, like, a lot of Lulu's attacks actually are pretty a lot of Lulu's attacks are actually pretty, like, nicely animated for what they are, you know? Because you can see the action that's being taken here, which is a blast with recoil. And it gives her, like, some, like, essence of personality. Though it's mostly because the hat does most of the work. Her hat and staff are doing the heavy lifting of it all. Where the fuck did Lulu go on that one? Okay. Most of these most of the animations are actually based off of her hat. So, like, with Lulu's death, you can really see that, where it's just, she's here and then she's gone, and it's just the hat with that very Looney Tunes-like. Like, if it wasn't such an ugly character model, like, this is pretty good acting for what she is. She's wandering around, she's a bit lost, a little confused. And that one, she's just kind of playing around, you know? A lot of Lulu's animations actually really do give her the personality that she has in game. It's just kind of.
That's the sound of Applebee's new sizzling skillets. Savory new chicken and shrimp.
We are not sponsored by Applebee's. This looks like her trying to do a spell and failing to do said spell. And, you know, I get why people said that the hat had to stay. I mean, because this is an actually pretty funny joke animation. It makes almost 0 sense, but that's kind of the point of it all, you know? Also, sorry for the echo, it's kind of, or just moving in, you know? Also, it's a bigger place than, you know, we're used to. Oh, that's kind of cute, but I don't really. A lot of this animation isn't really clear, but like her exuberance is. It's one thing about Lulu is that she definitely has a very distinctive personality that the animators clearly knew how to work with. It's just that she's a byproduct of the time where Meglings and Yordles were different species, and so we've got a blue-haired well, no, not blue-haired, blue-skinned individual. She's not really a Yordle, which, I mean, like, in her current lore makes sense, but we're gonna kind of get into that. But, like, here's her run, which really does give, like, the sense of, like, a scamper kind of motion. Like, she's just a little creature. Very much creature-esque. This one's just... She's Naruto running in that one. It's really silly. And then with this one, her hat becomes basically the entire character thing. Like, really, Lulu's dress and hair, well, her dress and the thing she's wearing aren't as important as her long hair and her hat, because those are the things that are actually, like, conveying the motion. You're seeing this in game, and you know this is Lulu. But we still have, like, the uncanny valley of her weird warped hands and all that stuff, and, like, very, very clearly furless ears, and, like, the ombre on her hat could be, it could do something, but it's really not doing anything. And it's more like her dress is an extension of the hat. The bag is just kind of a meaningless detail. It doesn't even really give her much of a character, which is kind of wasted space. Like, for a Yordle, like, you have to really go for, like, a very specific kind of look or, like, feeling. Like, you can't waste space on a Yordle, otherwise it becomes crowded easily, because you're working with a very small character. So a miscellaneous detail like a bag doesn't really tell you much about this character, but, like, some charms on her wand or something in her hat would. Something in her hair would. You're not really getting a sense of anything from there, which is kind of the whole problem with Lulu's character design and that specific character. Like, this is pretty good animation. I mean, like, the hair kind of sucks and all that, and she's ugly for sure, but, like, her animations have, like, that Looney Tunes pop that, like, Tristana and Poppy actually had to get a rework to fix instead of the other way around. So, like, Lulu having a base like this is honestly pretty good. You can see that, and it's a big boom of energy. I think this is Glitterlance that's going on. I can't really tell her spells apart. That might be Help Picks, because it doesn't look like Whimsy. I'm not too sure. She's... like, this one doesn't really convey anything besides just, like, action being done. And you can see that the problem here in her proportions is that, like, well, number one, it's her face. I mean, like, you can have a chubby cheeked kind of character, but this looks uncanny and it doesn't look intentional. And it makes it look like she has zero neck. The other problem is that, like, we basically get no feet of her. Like, it's kind of like her feet are, like, squished up together, whereas her arms are long and very human-y. Like, this doesn't look friendly at all. It looks like a creature from the deep, dark sea. And, you know, if we balanced out the proportions out a bit, like, if we gave her, like, a taller stature, while that might make her less, like, traditionally Yordle, right? It'll help alleviate the proportion problems here. Also, I don't think that I'm keeping stripes. I mean, like, really, I just want to make her look like she's more wild, more Bandle City-like, all that stuff. I've got, like, a whole list of notes, actually. I was really prepared for the stream, except for the part where I actually had to be prepared for the stream and the fact that, like, my computer just fucking sucks, right? Let's see. I think this one's whimsy. I'm not too sure, but like her staff and her hat are doing the motions. Though I think that with Lulu's eyes you could do a lot, because I mean, like, they have a very direct relationship with her hat or whatever, right? So you can make her express more. Well, also you could express more, since once you get like a different model, a different rig, you can actually give her things like voice syncing, which is something that Poppy has. Like, because most of Yordle's like design elements are in their head, because I mean they're short characters, and it's usually the weapons they carry and how they look like from like a silhouette, which makes you able to tell the difference between them. So like, you know who this is, but it's like also just kind of ugly. Like, the staff she carries doesn't even really look like wood. It's supposed to be, but it's just a little bit too gray, a little bit too stylized. And stylized characters tend to last the longest out of any. That's why, like, most of her like character animations don't actually look all that bad in comparison to like some of the like janky messes that are like quirky and whatever, right? But it's still a problem. And then this is her alt, which is this her alt? Yes, it is. So this would be, what's the name? Wild Growth. This is Wild Growth. And I mean, like, you can tell that this is her like most powerful spell, technically, because she's doing everything to cast it, right? But like, you also, the thing about Lulu is that even like her most like defining aspects or whatever make her feel a bit too top heavy, because the only thing that's balancing them out is her hair, and her hair is not long enough to like really sell the difference. It's because like her crook is up here and her hat's up here, but like basically all of this is meaningless fluff. I mean, like, I do want to keep the fact that this hat is like a big part of her, but like I'm also just kind of a sucker for faces, so there's a bit of a disconnect there too, right? She's got like very, very limited facial animation, but it's better than no facial animation. Like my favorite character, Vagar. Like, she's definitely doing her Lulu thing. which actually makes things like really easy, because Lulu's archetype is pretty simple to get across. You know, she's a manic pixie dream girl, essentially. She's a quirky kind of character for the sake of being quirky. I mean, now they've given her more depth, but it's really hard to really quantify what she's supposed to be doing in a story. Like, she's good at being a sidekick, but if she wants to be a protagonist, there's a few things that she needs to do before being up to the task. So we're going to talk about that lore and all that stuff, right? So, here's her, like, channeling, and, like, this is, like, a good base, right? But, like, it's also just, like, the hair doesn't really flow like hair does. I mean, the hat is doing its damnedest, but it's also just kind of, it's hard to really sell that, like, action. The tufts are doing a good job of selling the action or whatever, so that's nice. And then her channel lined up. Like, they all convey a pretty good idea. It's just like her unemotive face kind of ruins it. Also, like, I really do like her ear holes in her hat or whatever. It's just that her ears, these aren't Yordle ears, they're elf ears. Which is kind of the main, I mean, like, there's a lot of problems with Lulu. But she's also, like, in that, like, character camp where she doesn't actually need a rework as much as, like, Corky needs a rework, but she's much more popular than Corky is. The best they can do is make her close her eyes and that kind of thing. But, like, you can see, like, the strain that it goes through, because Lulu's legs aren't even really modeled correctly. And I think that's a big factor in, like, her getting lost in the sauce, as it were. It's also kind of a problem that, like, this pattern kind of makes her blend in with her hair, especially, so, yeah. It's, just something that we're gonna look for here. Because, really, we're not doing too much to Lulu. It's kind of like an alright character design for what she's trying to do or whatever. It's just, because, like, this, like, curl on her hat and that kind of stuff. Well, her hat in general is just, like, a strong enough character design that it doesn't really matter what's under it. But it does, because that's the character. The character isn't the hat. And it's a bit like a problem, right? Though I think that it is a missed opportunity that Pool Party Lulu didn't have a big, like, a hermit crab shell on her head, you know? Because, like, that fits, you know? She's, like, you could totally do, like, a Nautilus situation, and then her hairs are tentacles. They're already modeled to be like that anyhow, you know? But yeah, like, everyone keeps on deleting this bag, and it's for a good reason. It doesn't really belong. And, like, nothing else is green. And she's not, like, she's not mismatched enough to make it work. Like, out of all of the Yordles, really, like, Lulu would be the one to have a bunch of clashing color schemes and all that, you know? At least that's what I think. Anyway, let's get to Bittersweet, which is apparently her launch skin. So... Oh shit. Alright, let me see. Oh. So they went with licorice for her hair. Oh my fucking god. I mean, if you wanted to play somehow worse Lulu, then here's your option. Like, her hair is worse in every way, her hat's worse in every way. This is supposed to be for Sugar Rush, but it's not really doing it like a good job. Let's see. Is there any unique anim? God damn it! I don't want to look at critter fins. It doesn't really look like there's... Yeah, it's just a... You know, at least it's not a color swap. When did Lulu come out? 2012, I believe, right? Anyway. I thought that Wicked Lulu was her launch skin. But that's, that goes to show you how weird Bittersweet is. And they kind of just went, you know what's better than one hat? Two hats. Because this one's just Lulu, but with yellow eyes and an evil looking robe. It's not even like the colors could be cool, but I would rather her be like an Arcanist skin, you know, like how Arcanist Shaco looks. So that could be a pretty fun idea, I think. Though, like, the two-pronged hat is like, it does kind of work for her. But, like, for things like Wicked Lulu, or even something like Firefire Tristana, I wish that they, like, at least changed the fur color. Like, it's not that hard to, like, retexture them to do that, you know? Also, Lulu is, like, just kind of blue in all of her, like, older skins because, you know, Megling, well, she wasn't called the Megling. The only ones that were referred to as Meglings was Poppy and Tristana, but, like, it's still like an ongoing thing, you know? It's not ongoing. This is her next skin, and you can tell that they really decided to stop fucking around, because this looks fucking good. And I think it's mostly because, well, one, we've got, like, her hair in a unique pattern. We've got, like, a very nice, like, facial model for her and that kind of thing. Her hat is nice and stylized, with, like, some trinkets, because she would definitely have that. But she's also, like, this dress hides, like, the unsavory things about her, like, character model, like the fact that she has, like, almost no neck, and her hands, like, these hands look smaller because they're near ruffles, though, like, still, I would like a little bit of balance. Also, like, it's just really nicely textured. So, like, let's see, Dragon Trainer Run. That's fun. It was like, why would anyone buy... I was like, why would anyone buy this?
Video, premium. You can watch it. Premium. All YouTube, no interruptions.
Anyway, I don't know how much RP Dragon Trainer Lulu is in specific, but it's kind of crazy. Maybe it's just because we're living in like a skin-filled world, but like I feel like Lulu gets skins quite often. Yeah, she gets... No, it's because of chromas, which I'm not going over anyhow. Okay. I kind of need to change this. Alright. Get back to the model viewer. Winter Wonder Lulu. They've made her like kind of ugly. And like the main thing that you want to keep in her hat is flexibility, so a big metal panel here isn't really like helpful. Like at least give her like some icicles hanging from there, you know? And like they did the thing where they braided her hair and it looks better because, I mean, that hair does move like correctly or whatever, you know? But you can kind of see the problem with having no neck and all that stuff. Like, her proportions are whack. Though the ice crystal looks pretty good. What's it called? Her staff looks good. But yeah, I'm not a fan of this. Let's see, her recall. Yeah, no. It's even doing a worse version of a run. I mean, like, in this one at least, like, they've changed her, like, skin color and all that stuff, but, like, because of this panel right here, like, it can't move the way that it's supposed to, and it clips in with the braids and stuff like that. Like, I know with yordles you're supposed to make things compact, and I try my best to, like, not lengthen them to the point of looking like humans or whatever, you know? But there's a point where you kind of have to, like, at least lengthen something, because everything's getting crowded up here. And, like, this is, like, you're seeing this in game, which isn't as bad, but, like, you can still see the clipping and all that stuff. It's not fun. Alright, let's get on to pool party. So they've literally made her hair tentacles now by adding it to the hat. which, like, is a smart move, but, like, also, when you have a character like this, it's kind of hard to, like, make this kind of thing work, because her proportions are just so fucking ugly. Because, like, you've got the whole thing of, like, her neck is way too fucking weird here, and her arms aren't, like, they're way too skinny, and her legs are ridiculously small. It looks like this thing's crushing her, you know? And, like, with clothes, you're able to hide that under, like, smooth things, but with this, you're stuck with ugly textures and really nothing in return. Like, I guess if you want to play this one, play it for the squid hat, because her, like, staff even looks bad in here. Like, it's not like at all really an appealing skin. It doesn't even look like she's, like, her inner tube's cut off here too. Like, you can see this whole situation. Not fun, huh? Alright, let's see. It's cute that that basically this pool toy opens up and does that, but you know. I'm just thinking of, like, a way cooler way of doing a pool party Lulu skin, which is to, you know, make her the mollusk. Don't put the mollusk on top of her head. It's stupid. Also, like, give her one of those coveralls, because, like, if we're keeping these proportions, then you really need to cover them up, because they're really fucking ugly. And, like, you can make the hat a creature, but, like, if you're not gonna really do anything with that, you know, then it's kind of just, I it feels like a waste, you know? Though it is pretty funny that these eyes are googly. Both Zoe and Lulu don't really have good, like, you could do so much more with a pool party skin for both of those characters, but they don't do anything. They just make one character, like, they just decided that to make things blue and call it a day. Which, you know, fair, right? But, like, they also took away, like, the fun parts. Like, for this style, usually her hat flies up, but, like, if you want to convey that, like, the hat's sticking to her like that, you know, then go for it. Go full for it, you know? It's just a bit disappointing, I guess. And they can't even take the hat off the fucking character, so you get this ridiculous death scene. Which, I mean, it is kind of funny, though. Like, I feel like you can make things funny and also make a cool skin that I would want to pay money for. But, like, I mean, like, Lulu is a comedy character, but, like, I don't really understand why you can't just do both, I guess. Alright, let's check out Star Guardian Lulu. the thing about Star Guardian Lulu and regular Lulu is that they insist that like this character has more of like a connection to magic in some kind of way that's different than all the other similarly powered magic users in the area, but they never go out and differentiate what that thing is. Like for Star Guardian Lulu here, she's said to have a very special connection to the first star, but we don't ever see what that connection is or how it's any different to the connections that like Jonna or Poppy have to the first star. And I mean, it's just not really implied what like Star Guardian Lulu's is. So this is a very nicely modeled face. I'm not a big fan of when they decide to just fuck it and go full human. Also, they totally got rid of like her hat essentially, and you know, I mean, it still looks like Lulu because the main things that like were keeping your visual language is small person, big hair, but not long hair, because that would be Zoe. Also, Zoe doesn't have a staff, so boom, recognizable. Though, like, the proportions are pretty alright for this version of Lulu. And also, I do like how her face is, kind of. Though I still wish it was, like, some level of furry. It doesn't really make sense, and we never get, like, an explanation as to why Yordles are part of this universe, if it's supposed to be, like, a modernistic thing, you know? Anyway, it's weird. Anyway, the other thing about Lulu is that if she was holding the staff like further back, it would create a better like look or whatever, you know? But like, I guess if I mean, like, I'm kind of torn on it because like at one point, yes, I mean, I think that if it was her hand was up here a little bit, then you would have more of a balance, right? But if she kept it like this, it also looks pretty good. Let's see, her death animation. I fucking disappeared her. Oh yeah, because her joke animation is literally her spinning around the pole, but she doesn't have a hat, so she's flying around the pole, which is it's pretty good, like, recontextualization of it all. What? I don't... And then her home guard. Being with this fly, it's nice. Also, they finally figured out how to model hair, kind of. So, like, you've got a really cute kind of character here. Which is nice, you know? You'll do that shit again. Oh my god. But like, they still managed to do that hat thing, and it looks pretty nice. It's here, because all that like cartoony animation effort really pays off for skins that have better modeling, well, better texture work and things like that, less ugly shading, more understanding of what works on Lulu and what doesn't. So, I don't... Oh, here's her recall. Also, Lulu as a magical girl, obviously, that's just, like, that just fits so well. Okay, and then Cosmic Enchantress Lulu. She's got a lot of star-themed skins for having almost nothing to do with stars. But I think it's mostly because they want to make Lulu sparkly and powerful. And the hat's back this time. Her ears look really fucking weird. But like, this is a nice, like, way of like texturing her and all that stuff. It gives her a very different vibe. It's really nice, though we can't see the, what's it called? The VFX on her model here, but we can still take a look at all like the tips and all that. It's a little bit too much, but like the robe or whatever, like draping this model in a very expensive robe and like putting gold everywhere is a very like easy way of like fixing the fundamental issues of her character design, which is her neck basically doesn't exist, her arms are way too fucking long, and her fingers are way too skinny, and her legs are basically non-existent. Because with this, it gives her more of a dwarf kind of status. Though, because it's on such a dilapidated model, we've got situations where, you know, there's just too much chair and everything just kind of crosses together like that. So, So yeah, we've got the problem again of there's just so much happening here, and it really kind of, it sucks for her hair. Mostly, like, the hat's doing fine. I mean, like, it's getting clipped through to hell and back, but like, from this angle, it looks pretty good. But you're not seeing it from this angle, you're seeing it from this angle. And you probably don't want to spend a bunch of money to get a bunch of, you know, missing textures. Like, and you can tell in a recall, like, how it's actually supposed to work, right? But they can't do that with Lulu's actual model. So, yeah. Fun, right? Alright, let's check out Pajama Guardian Lulu, which does the smart thing of putting Lulu in more clothes so that we don't have to look at her proportions. See, you still have the like basic silhouette because of the wings here, which is pretty cute. Also, you've got a reference to like Sailor Scouts and all that stuff. And like you fix the problem of her not having really a body to speak of by just kind of making it into a pillow. She's basically she's kind of like a stuffed toy. Though, like, personally I would rather play with the Star Guardian skin. Because these things are just too bulky to really work correctly. But, okay. And then we've got the home guard. Like, the main thing is, instead of looking plush, it makes these look like rubber, which is kind of a moot point or whatever. Also, if her legs were longer, it would look a lot better. Let's look at that recall. That's just a reused recall from Star Guardian. I mean, if you want a more plush version of Lulu, then you can go for it then, huh? So, let's take a look at Space Groove Lulu. And soon we might actually be able to get to coloring. Who knows? Well, we're gonna have to sketch. Jeez. I'm not really sure what her staff's really even supposed to be. It looks cute, but with Lulu in specific, like, they detail her eyes nice, but like, I'm guessing that there's supposed to be more VFX that I'm not seeing or whatever, because there's just not a lot of texture work that's going on here. Also, there's like a very distinct like difference between this hair and this hair. We can actually see inside the helmet and view that like it's 3 ponytails that she gave herself. And they did the smart solution of basically covering the entire model up. But like they also just kind of missed on the face this time because her eyes are just like too wide set. If her eyes were bigger or closer together, they would give the right like level of effect, I feel. Also, it's strange that she has like 3 ears and that kind of thing. I really do love Space Groove though, is the thing, you know? But like also, there's not enough bend within this specific hat though. It's, yeah, like, for these kinds of skins to work with the Yordles or jelly or whatever, they really need to have the give that goo and jelly has. Because this looks very stiff, it looks like rubber. Playtex leather or whatever. Let's see. Also, we haven't seen pics anywhere, and I mean, I think it's because he's a VFX thing himself, so we can't actually like give him a proper review. But I mean, like weirdly defined as a pet, which is kind of really incorrect. Also, we've got the bulk clipping thing again with her hair and her body. Now, the solution would probably be to make her body longer and also like give her a neck so that these these pieces don't have to intertwine together. The bulk doesn't have to be in that specific place, you know? But I'm not a 3D rigger. It's not really a thing that I can really explain in technical terms. I can't actually do anything about it, you know? Okay, and here's Prestige Lulu. She's got her drills back, which are cute. Also, they gave her one set of ears this time, which is nice. I do dig this design more, though I actually like the original splash art way better. And that's because Jose is just like a really good, like really like competent person when it comes to splash arts. Let's see. And I mean, it also fixes the problem with her eyes for me because I can't see them. Basically, if you cover Lulu's entire model with shiny shit, it's gonna look good. And she kind of gives me Space Patrol Luluco vibes. It's very anime, it's very 60s. It's a lot of fun. Like, I can see a little bit of Super Sentai, all that shit. It's really fun. And she's also got a little run from her other model, you know? And this time it really feels like a walking stick, you know? Let's see. And this time she has pink hair, actually. That's a pretty cool fact, but we also run into the problem of the everything squishing together. I mean, here it's not as noticeable because of this giant ball in the way, right? But, like, everything is just not being friends with each other. Though this looks a lot better than what it was originally. Let's see. What's her recall like? Oh, that's really fucking cute. I'd probably buy the prestige version of Space Groove Lulu. Her little drills are just so cute. Also, like, giving her feet like this really works. And it doesn't, like, compromise the fact that, like, she's, like, tiny or whatever. But instead you can actually, like, give, like, a body to Lulu. Like, this is way nicer in terms of proportions. Also, they fixed the hands problem by just gooping them up, essentially. And that's it for Prestige Space Groove Lulu. Monster Tamer Lulu. Oh yeah, this is her legendary. So it's supposed to be good. I need to skip this actually, because I've been getting copyright claims from that one in specific. This Lulu face is actually very nice. So, like, huh? No. I've listened to Yinu for ages. Alright. Like live chat. Anyway. Monster Tamers came out this year. And I mean, like, Kog'Maw was really cute in it. For Lulu, I mean, like, they did a smart thing here of, like, covering for her really weird hand proportions, but this is a legendary, so it's basically a new model. And she's clearly a little electric type trainer, and they give, like, the illusion of having a big hat without actually having a big hat, which is pretty smart on Riot's part, though I still wish she had a neck or something like that, like equivocates it, you know? Anyway. Oh no. Also, this hair is very stiff. Let's see. It's not a this doesn't actually look like a legendary at all. I think maybe I was wrong about it. Yeah, no. I mean, like, her face is, like, way more expressive. Let's see. But no, these are the same animations for sure. Also, this version of Pix is pretty cute. Like, just the idea of making Lulu a Pokemon trainer is just a good idea in general. Anyway, I like her with, like, a less stunted body, but that's just me. Anyway, let's see. That's all the skins. So let's try and actually get somewhere today, huh? Alright, let's actually get on to the drawing portion of today's stream, huh? Hey everybody. Should I turn up? Actually, I think that maybe I can turn up bitrate here. So, let me do that real quick. I don't actually know how weird it's been running for everyone, but let's go to that and see how it fares. Is that better for everyone? I hope it is. Alright. We turned it up. I think that the Wi-Fi finally is working correctly for my computer, so I can actually like play like League of Legends and stuff like that or something. Alright. So I've got a few concepts here. Though most of it is because like their quilted fashion is what I'm after. Let me get my actual sketching material here, huh? So yeah, Lulu's quirky, she's whimsical, represents nature. She's basically entirely, her story entirely focuses on Vandal City. So you want to, you know, make sure that she like reasonably belongs and then reasonably doesn't belong to it. And I've got a few notes here, like the hat has to fucking stay. People want to see her more feral, more unhinged. We want to see more whimsy, keep the long hair, and have more color. Lulu was invented at a time where the like random humor was incredibly popular. So she's kind of a product of her time in a weird way. She's a Gur, essentially, or a Pinkie Pie, if we're thinking, because she was released somewhere back in 2012, essentially. So yeah. I don't know what's going on here. Anyway. We're doing pretty alright in terms of bitrate, I'm pretty sure. So if... Oh shit, this is what you guys can see. How fucking delayed is everything? It's crazy. Alright, well, you'll be catching up soon, I think. And hopefully the next Yordle string won't be as fucking off the wall as this one, huh? Anyway. Yeah, as I was saying, Lulu is she's a product of her time and the way that League of Legends was in, like, the early days. Like, the idea for her whole character, basically, was the fact that she stumbled onto this realm of fairies. And in old lore, that made sense because, you know, Vandal City was a city on Runeterra. It wasn't in a pocket dimension. So, things made more sense. It gave her a reason why she was different from other Yordles, because she had fallen into a fairy-type place. We still don't really know what Riot wants to be doing with Yordles, but hit me up, Riot. I'm free to like fix your fucking Yordle story for you, alright? Because it's actually pretty easy to fix. I mean, like, not the, like, whole Piltover and Zon thing where, like, we're not sure if, like, Yordles are supposed to exist there or not, or, like, how they view Yordles or whatever, and we also have that problem in Demacia. but yeah. We're not talking about that. We're focusing on Bandle City for today. So it don't really matter about Runeterra all that much. I'm just gonna get into it, right? Basically, like, in current lore, she's described as very deeply empathetic, and one day she basically was daydreaming, found a bird that turned out to be a fairy, wandered too deep into some part of Bandle City, and basically no-clipped her way into the glade. And the glade is supposed to be even more magical and more psychedelic than Bandle City is. It's supposed to be more, but we're not really sure of how Bandle City compares to the glade. We don't have that split. And that's kind of what's holding Lulu back, in my opinion, is that we've got a lot of, like, she's not really special. Like, everyone's basic, like, even characters like Rumble are fairy creatures. They're fundamentally magic. So, it doesn't really make too much sense. But this was during, like, basic reworks for everyone's story. Anyway, Lulu now has a clear goal, which is to go back to the glade, but the thing about that is, it's not really plot relevant in any sense, and we won't ever see the end of that goal for her, so it's kind of a moot point in a way, you know? Like, because the thing about Lulu is she makes a hard protagonist, because she's, I mean, like, Lulu philosophers in the comments, you can correct me and that kind of thing, but the main thing that's going on is like non sequiturs, chaotic disregard for anyone else, that kind of thing. She's just kind of partying, and everyone's kind of like a side piece to that. Like, at least she has a goal, though. Like, it gives her a clear goal, right? But the thing about that is, it's not really a goal that seems to be important to anyone else. No one really knows about the glade. No one ever talks about the glade. It's not an important place, despite the fact that it probably should be. We're not even really sure what the glade is, like, lore-wise. But I've got a way of fixing this. Anyway, hey Frown. This stream's been a little rough. But I'm glad you're here. You know, I think that's a pretty, like, nice thing, right? I hope that everyone can hear this and whatever. Anyway, we're doing the long-awaited Lulu episode here, so that's something, right? Anyway, my idea for Lulu is essentially that she's too much of a Yordle. She's not like as feral and like where magic comes from as like Nar. You can't have that because that's what he fills as like his role essentially, right? But you can work her into a story. And I think here's an idea for a Bandle City story that doesn't have to do with defending Bandle City in any way. It has to do with all that. Also, hello! So cool. How are we doing? How do you? Anyway. My idea for Lulu and all this whole Bandle City idea, right, is that Bandle City is becoming more and more human. Like, Yordles across the world essentially have been influencing human culture for millennia at this point. So, when they go back and start families and that kind of thing, they slowly introduce human customs and culture into Bandle City, making it more and more human as the centuries wane on. Also, thank you very much, Sleepy. I think that you're very swag as well. I'm gonna try and get back to this daily, well, not daily schedule, weekly schedule. And maybe we can even, if I figure it out, we could even play some Wii games and all that shit on stream, huh? Anyway, Bandle City is becoming more human, and it's not a bad thing, but slowly as the years go by, Yordles have become less and less magical. I mean, sure, they're chipper and they use magic to play and stuff like that, but it's not as integral as it once was. They aren't using it to survive like their forefathers were. So Yordles become pretty lazy and kind of like how rats are they're once they get into a spot where they're comfortable, they kind of just chill out. That's basically what's happened to Yordles in my like weird canon that we're going with here, right? So, like, Yordles are out of touch of what they really even are as a species. And if you don't go out into the world, you don't even have to deal with things like hunger or tiredness or even death, really. It's kind of a paradise. And so, like, a lot of Yordles tend to rebel and go out into Runeterran to search for something more real, as it were. But Lulu was pretty happy as just like a modernistic Yordle. I mean, she didn't really get into things like tech or whatever, which like Yordles are commended on or whatever. But she does care about her home. She cares about nature. She doesn't really fit in. She's not like other girls. Nah. She's very social, but in a a way that rubs people the wrong way. Anyway, she finds herself lost, and she stumbles, no clips if you will, into the glade. And the glade isn't so much a place as it is just a pocket of the spirit world. In my head, basically, Yordles, like, from Kennen, Kled, and Vagar's generation sealed off the Yordle homeland or whatever, basically creating a pocket dimension within the spirit world, and that's how you've got Bandle City today. Anyway, Lulu accidentally trips into a hole where that magic was just a bit weak, and she falls into basically a place where magic and all that originates from. It's where Yordles came from. It's like basically a condensed pool of like spirit mumbo jumbo or whatever, yeah. Anyway, and you can have her like chasing pigs and that kind of thing too, but once she comes out, once she finds her way out, she sees how things are just a little bit differently. She's always been absent-minded and not really all that community-minded, but now she like has distanced herself even more from modern Yordles. But she wants to help. She wants to be useful. She wishes for her society to keep living its happy life, because instead of loving the glade, she thinks that the glade is both wonderful, but she also thinks it's scary. And I think having that twist on it, like her not just being la-da-da happy about it or whatever, right? She still wishes to find the glade and that kind of thing. She is endlessly curious about the things about it. She wants to tell her friends about this place, but it doesn't really exist. They think that it's kind of like she's lying to them, essentially. But what?
Check off all the tech on your list with great prices also.
I was like, this isn't a part of my playlist. Okay. She becomes Hannibal, turning people into cupcakes and eating them. I mean, that would be more interesting than what we've got so far. Anyway, the way that she sees things is forever essentially corrupted, tainted by her experience. She is just a little bit either like behind or ahead of people. It's almost like she's living in a different, like just 5 seconds before, 5 seconds after. And I mean, like, Bandle City, time doesn't exactly matter since everyone's immortal there. But she wishes to protect, she wishes to be helpful. And that's where, like, Tristana, Corky, Rumble, and Teemo come into play. I mean, like, Rumble isn't actually one of her friends, like, but, you know. Also, if anyone wants to know, Rumble and Lulu would be one of the most toxic ships known to mankind. And it's basically just any rom-com movie that came out in, like, the early 2000s. It's basically manic pixie dream girl and incel. Anyway, that's why I'm not, like, a big fan of her and Vigar ship. Also because, like, there's an age difference and a power difference. It's just weird. It makes me uncomfortable. Anyway, she's essentially kind of like a nurse. I mean, she's the support of the group, but she hangs out with people differently and that kind of thing, you know? Like, her and Teemo, I feel like, would have similar goal points or whatever, because Teemo isn't a Boy Scout anymore. He's a Boy Scout leader. He wants, like, this generation of kids to grow up and learn about nature and how amazing it is, and that kind of thing. He's like a camp counselor in that way, I guess, too. But, like, he also, like, but I say Boy Scouts because Boy Scouts tend to become military recruits and that kind of thing. It's a weird tradition. This is... Now, we want to make sure that she's nice and wild, nice and feral, all that stuff, nice and fluffy. And you can even have, like, her hair be like she's in her own little world, essentially. Because that's essentially what Lulu is. She's the marches to the beat of her own drum character. Which, like, is slightly what Zoe is, but Zoe's more about being a prankster. It's more about being, like, an advocate for change and that kind of thing. Whereas, like, yes, Lulu's also more about changing and being, like, free in that kind of sense or whatever, you know? But she's more about the, like, the fantasy element of it. She's more of a daydreamer. But their characters are very similar, so it's a little bit easy to confuse them. And I don't want her and Zoe to, like, really have too many, like, aesthetic pathways to one another. Also, another thing about that kind of thing is she's a Dream Stand fan? Are you talking about Zoe? Because, I mean, like, the fact that she simps for Ezreal is very, very funny. It's very, very weird. Also, like, it kind of goes into the main point of, like, Lulu's age isn't very clear. Like, with Tristana, it's very apparent that she's treated like an adult. She has a job. She's a soldier. She's called ma'am. But, like, you've got things like Lulu canonically being friends with Zoe and that kind of thing. And it kind of throws things off of balance in that kind of sense. Because, like, you can make the assumption that, yeah, she's a similar age to Teemo and Tristana. because, like, they've never been outside of Bandle City. Tristana doesn't even know what money is. In, like, the technical sense. So, basically you, like, group them between, like, trauma and traumatized and untraumatized. It could be like a Rumspringa for Yordles. Yeah, probably the mental thing of it. Like, we've gotten that with, like, Vex. We know, like, basically exactly how old Vex is, you know? She is a teenager. She's an older one, but she's a teenager nonetheless. And, I mean, like, a teenager's probably, like, 30 in actual human years, right? But that don't really matter. Because, like, she clearly acts like a teenager. You can tell that she's a teenager, you know? Like, you can tell that Ziggs is, like, somewhere within, like, his early 30s. It's just based off of, like, what's going on with his character, and also, like, Ziggs has the benefit of having a glamour form, so he looks like a 30-something. You know? But with Lulu, it's hard, because she acts very childish, you see. And, I mean, you can always have adults that are childish. Like, that's not a problem, you know? But it's also a thing of, like, there's not enough context clues, you know? Because, like, Yordles do have, like, a general, like, age thing going on. Like, you can tell that Kled and Heimerdinger are old men. But it's not because they said that they were old men, but, like, you can see, well, it's mostly apparent in their designs, because they have white fur or whatever, you know? But, like, with, like, Kennen, you've got, like, stories where he's definitely, like, a parent figure. He's that trope of being, like, a wise master and, like, a small body. Like a Master Splinter or a Yoda type character. That's what he is. But, like, Lulu's tropes of being, like, a manic pixie dream girl, being quirky, those don't really have ages. Those are very nebulous kinds of concepts. Like, you don't know what age Gur is, but you would assume that it's young. And, like, you can tell that Pinkie Pie is, like, an adult that is childish, but, like, that's because she holds a job and she has, like, an apartment and that kind of thing, you know? But we don't really know much of, like, Lulu's life. And that's kind of a thing. She got an emo phase as well. What are you talking about? I'm glad that the stream's now working. Yeah, Pinkie Pie, actually, I mean, it's not so much emo phase as it is emo breakdown. It's a better word for it, I guess. And yeah, she's chaotic, changeable. But yeah, she wants to be seen as useful. She wants to be seen as likable, that kind of thing. Anyway, I'm going with Pinkie Pie rules on this, because you can be a silly adult. It's just that we're not really sure what her job would be. But, like, I have a cute idea that she's like basically a medic, essentially. She's the spellcaster of the group. And like that kind of scenario, she heals boo-boos and all that stuff, even though, like, because you want to keep her, like, in mind what her role is in game, because we're not changing what she does. She's a really, like, popular champion, you see. Like, yeah, probably Hannibal cooking cupcake. You're funny. Anyway, I'm really happy that we're not having any delays. Watch as I say that and something bad goes wrong or whatever, yeah. Anyway, we're just trying to make her, like, proportions more proportional. Because Yordles have big heads, but they don't have that big of a head, you know? For her weapon, we're basically taking her staff and we're making it into almost a bubble blower of some kind. But it's mostly because spandrel tree roots can grow like that. So it makes her fit Bandle City more. Of course she has her own style or whatever, you know? But she's a resident. She takes from what's there, you know? And there's not a lot of, like, synthetic things except for gold for some reason. Though the only Bandle City character that you've really seen updated is Tristana. I'm basing it off of Tristana's, like, whole thing. Whole troop, like LOR expansions and all that stuff, you know? I've been working on, like, this general Lulu design for a while, but that's because we haven't been able to get ourselves situated until, like, just recently. I'm, like, still considering the, like, lantern, because I do kind of want her to be too much. Because Kitsch is a very powerful tool, but maybe, like, it's a maybe on that front. But yeah, we want more feral energy, more like Because I think that Lulu being a fuzzier Yordle, like a Ziggs, rather than like a Tristana, would make more sense, considering the fact that she's like... She is just kind of a creature of reality-bending power. Anyway, we're going more like Pixie Hollow aesthetics. Because Lulu is a very much girly girl. Like, though her color palette's very strange, it's like very angry of like color scheme. It's red, purple, gold. And we're gonna still keep like most stuff the same, yeah? But we're also gonna, you know, try our best here. Oh shit. Anyway, I got this idea from Platinum the Trinity, if you follow BlazBlue games. Since Lulu just is such a perfect fit for magical girl-like aesthetics anyway. Like, you kind of just want to go, like, full... When you're thinking about Lulu, you want to think about girls' tropes. And growing up, like, I've got a lot of experience about it, you know? Because I've watched a lot of Bart. Like, I ate up, like, all those direct-to-DVD Barbie movies. I also watched Pixie Hollow, like all of those Tinkerbell things or whatever, and those kinds of things. I didn't read the book series, though I'm sure it was good. Anyway, like, Lulu should, like, have, like, ties to that kind of culture, because that's kind of her whole appeal to, like, League of Legends players now, besides the fact that she's, like, she's just kind of funny, but also she's, like, one of the premier supports. Like, you can't, like, you're not going to see a tournament without Lulu in it. Like, Rakan might be, like, off the list or whatever, but, like, Lulu is, like, someone that's played, like, literally all the time. So, like, it's important for her to... That's why, like, I think that she would be a good, like, target for an ASU instead of a, like, a gameplay update, a VGU, a war crime support with Twitch APC. I've always heard, like, horror stories about Kog'Maw and Lulu, and, like, people were just, like, crazy about the fact that they got a skin together, like, a skin line together, because that's, like, the bot lane from hell. Anyway, let's see. I made Lulu's dress shorter because, like, we don't want her to run into, like, too many, like, what's it called? Commonalities between, like, other Yordles. So, like, I want to give her, like, a very specific body type and that kind of thing. So, like, make sure that she is a Yordle, but, like, she still is her own thing, you know? Because she is supposed to be pretty different from other Yordles. So, like, we're not really, like, no one's ever given a why, because there's, like, a shit ton of insane Yordles, like, all of them are Looney Tunes characters. They're comedy characters at the end of the day. And that's why you need, like, big eyes, big faces. But, like, also, it's important for them to line up where their limbs are, because it makes animation way easier for the character. So, even though I'm giving her, like, details and stuff like that, and, like, preferably she is supposed to be a little gaudy, a little bit kitsch, a little overcrowded, she should feel, she should be easy to, like, move. She's a character that bounces off the wall, so she should be able to do that. She should be able to accomplish that goal. Like, there's so much, like, with being stylized, Yordles just have, like, so much leeway in how they can express and interact with others. Like, Kled is just a marvel of animation. And so are, like, more recent Yordles, like Kled, like Vex, like reworked Poppy and Tristana. They are beautiful to look at. They've got so much, like, personality to them. You can, like, really feel it with them, that kind of thing. And, I mean, I just wish for a day where all Yordles, or at least, like, the ones that I like the most, get picked to, you know, really, like, live their best life, honestly. And for anyone not in the know, that's basically just me going, please, 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 Riot, fix Vhagar, for the love of God. Get Scott McNeil on the phone. Get him to do new voice lines. And just, like, go at it. Like, Vhagar has so many fucking skins. But that's because he's been in the game since the very beginning. And it's kind of surprising that Lulu wasn't in the game since the very beginning. I mean, she came out, what is it? She came out 3 years into the game's release, I believe. So, she's gotten a lot of time to get rusty. I want, like, that kind of thing. Yeah. Vhagar was in the first season, like, a lot of characters were, I think Kale was, like, Kale Morgana, like, whenever fucking pizza feet were, like, was, like, the hottest thing on the side of the earth, or whatever. So, like, 2009, I believe. Like, he is a very old character. Anyway, getting back to Lulu talk, there's a lot of things I can actually talk about with her because I'm very I'm very deep within, like, caring very much about Yordles, even ones that I don't particularly like. Like, for me, Lulu's personality from the surface, maybe if I dug deeper into her lore and her story and that kind of thing, I would understand her better, I would like her better, but as it stands, she's not my... She's, like, not the Yordle I want to listen to the most, you know? But it's also based off of, like, what tropes you like and all that stuff, you know? Vhagar is a very old boomer champ. Also, like, a thing that, as I draw in pics here, a thing that happens with Yordles quite a bit is because this Riot doesn't want people to see Yordles as, like pets of any kind, like animals, even though they look very much like animals, is that they give them animals alongside them so that you can tell the difference. Like, that's kind of what, like, they did for that Poro and Heimerdinger and that kind of thing. Like, Kled has Skarl. Skarl doesn't talk or whatever, so you immediately put all the human traits into Kled. You go, oh yeah, that's just a... You go, oh yeah, Yosemite Sam. I know that one. And he no longer becomes an animal of any kind to you. It's like he's basically a short, furry person at that point, you know? And, you know, you got that kind of with Vex and Shadow. It's mostly also so that characters can bounce off one another or whatever. Because, like, Kled and Skarl is supposed to be, like, the brave one out of his depth, and the invincible but incredibly cowardly one. That's their dynamic. It works very well. And for Shadow and Vex, Vex tries to put on airs that she's so over everything, but Shadow reveals her true feelings about a situation. So it makes it like a shadow of the psyche, you know. And with Heimerdinger, you've got that dynamic too with his little Poro in Arcane, you know? Where, like, the Poro is, by and large, it is a dog. That's what it is. Like, it doesn't really look like a dog, but it barks like a dog, it cuddles up like a dog, it's basically a dog. And it, like, serves the purpose of, one, making sure the audience knows that Heimerdinger is, like, seen more as a human more than an animal. Like, when those things come side to side, like Vestaya and Yordles are in that same boat where they aren't treated like a dog. so you can tell the difference. It's pretty smart when it comes to shorter characters too, you know? Anyway, that Poro also, like, reflects, like, Heimerdinger's true feelings about a situation. It really, like, captures that point. And I think, like, depending on what they're used for, these things are really good, and that kind of thing. The thing about Pix and Lulu is that Pix, we aren't really sure the sentience of. Like, in some, like, media things, like, Lulu is called the owner of Pix and that kind of thing, you know? Like, but in other cases, like, Pix is seen more as, like, a companion, a friend, in that kind of sense. More like Nunu and Willump and less of a, like, a Kled Skarl situation. But since Pix doesn't really have any sounds that, like, he makes, and we don't really know what fairies are, we really only have one, which is Pix, right? So we don't really understand how sentient Pix is. I'm assuming he's pretty sentient or whatever, like, they're on the same level or whatever, so it's more like two species that are friends with one another, but it's hard to really know. It's also because, like, Pix is so small that he can't emote at all, or whatever, yeah. Giving Lulu new animations and, like, new interactions with Pix would make this dynamic way clearer. Like, if Lulu's about to do something stupid and, like, Pix, like, tries to grab onto her hat or whatever, you know? Like, that's like, a way to really hammer in the point that, like, Pix is a concerned friend of Lulu's or whatever. And you can have some fun with that, you know? Like, personally, that's the one that I want the most, but, like, I mean, you can always just make Pix, like, a pet, too. I think it's, like, a little dicey, but you could always do that, yeah? But we can't put Pix in a jar, okay? It's just a little wrong, you know? Because that jar could be filled up with anything. And it could be placed on a heater accidentally. Oh, God. Let me see. And poor Pix. Jar is the most dangerous prison of them all for Pix. I mean, yeah, I mean, for any bug, really. Anyway, basically the idea is that, like, the glade is like a dream, essentially. Not in, like, the, like, unequivocally good way, but in the way it's strange and surreal and kind of scary. So it, like, affects Lulu's personality. Like, she is an embodiment of, like, that kind of curled up chaos that Bandle City is. It's mutable, changeable nature, that kind of thing. I think that it's important to like have that as like a standout for her character because it makes her more interesting. It gives context to like what's going on too. I mean, like there's 1,000 ways that you could roll for a Vandal City plot. I mean, but like if we want Lulu to be a protagonist in any sense, the word, like be on her own, not have like a straight man to like basically do all the heavy story lifting or whatever, you know? And you can have just a side character type deal. I mean, like not every Looney Tune's meant to be like a main character, you see. Some are meant to be like sort of terrifying villains, and some are just supposed to be the comic relief. But, you know, I think a Daffy Duck is like just way funnier than what Lulu says. Okay, so oh my fucking god, man. I don't know if you can hear that, but don't hear it. Anyway, let's see. I think ways to make Lulu funnier, because, I mean, a big... Okay, yeah, okay, sorry. Sorry from, this place, we don't have a lot of furniture, okay? So it's kind of echoey, and we're just gonna have to deal with that, because I'm not putting my computer in a closet and recording, okay? I don't want to do that. What the fuck? Also, snow is so weird. Anyway, back to the point. Yordles are, at the end of the day, comedy characters. I mean, like, League of Legends is a very cartoony game. So, you kind of need to find out what makes a character concept funny or whatever, and go for it, you know? Like, even more serious Yordles, like Heimerdinger and Tristana, have very specific, like, personalities. You can tell what makes them funny. Like, Heimerdinger is this, like, very, like, small little man who's very polite and kind of fuddy-duddy in a sense, right? And he thinks that he is funny. Well, it's more of a wholesome sense to you, you know? And it's also like the hypocrisy of being afraid of magic and also making a 50-foot tall T-Hex. Being like, progress. It's like a funny voice goes a long way. And selling it. But, like, I don't think that they're going to make a funny voice for Lulu. No, I mean, like, unless you call, like, chipmunking and just having a higher pitched voice funny. I don't consider it that, though. Everyone has their own opinion, though, yeah? Like, the things that you find funny, I might not find funny at all. So it's a very subjective thing. But so is art. So we're just kind of we're just kind of wading in, like, the sea of, like, subjectivity here. Like, you can go, oh yeah, this model, like, what Lulu is currently, that looks good to me. And, you know, I can't, like, change your opinion like, forcibly, but I can say that I don't agree, and that kind of thing. And these are the points why I don't agree. It doesn't make the point you make any less valid, it just challenges said point. Design's a big back and forth battle on what you want to do, and that kind of thing. And also what's good for the character and all that too, right? So we're just kind of changing the silhouette here. And we're making her proportional and doing all that stuff. So that's a big difference, I think. Anyway, back to the point on comedy character, because I'm getting off track. I don't have a script or anything like that, so yeah, I can lose track very easy. Anyway, the thing about you want to make Lulu more funny, but I don't think that non sequiturs are pretty funny. I think that, like, her, like, being kind of, like, crazy and then kind of reasonable is, like, Vagar doesn't need to change his brand of, like, joke or whatever. I mean, like, the short joke isn't really it, but, like, the whole tries to be evil but actually makes people's lives, like, 1,000,000 times better is just pretty fun, right? But, like, for Lulu, like, messing up a task and maybe, like, trying to, like, fix it with, like, the power of song and dance or whatever. I mean, I'm not really good when it comes to comedy writing, and it's hard to really, it's hard to come up with one on the top of my head, but, like, also, speaking of, like, magic or whatever, right, which I wasn't, but whatever, segue into, she's chaotic, she's changeable, like, she's able to change her colors at will, I mean, like, all Yordles are able to see, like, ultraviolet light and all that stuff. So, I thought that, like, having her magic being unpredictable, wild, dangerous magic, not being able to control it, that kind of thing, instead of, like, being, like, it being easy for her. Because, I mean, like, it feels like she's got an experience with her own magic, but I also think that, like, the idea of, like, the D&D style of wild magic, where she's trying to cast a spell to do a certain thing, but it surprises her by doing something else, like, works pretty well for her. And, like, you don't even really need to reskin anything about her in order to make this work. You just kind of have to, like, put it in dialogue or whatever, you know? Like, oh, I can't just do a spell, that kind of thing. Because it also explains the fact that, like, halfway, like, literally, Bandle City like, version of Tellstones is the fact that, like, the rules change whenever they decide to, or whatever, you know? So, having her magic be so, like, readily available doesn't feel like as fun to me. But I could also just be a hater. I don't fucking know, man. I hope that everyone's having a good time and that you can actually see the stream. Because, I mean, we went through some really, really gnarly internet troubles back there. And, yeah. Anyway, I want Pix to have more of a personality because, like, your comedy duo is not always going to be there in the form of other champions. So, like, having, like, Lulu banter with Pix or whatever is just, like, a fun way of, like, showing off her personality in like an organic way, you know? Also, like, Pix is just like forefront of like so many of her abilities, you know? He's essentially like a bodyguard for Lulu in a sense. Anyway, I'm going for a more pinker shade of purple than like blue purple because Tristana's a periwinkle kind of color and it's kind of confusing for a lot of art or whatever, right? Like, so many people voted for Lulu. I'm really, really embarrassed that the stream, like, was so awful at the beginning, but I'm glad that it's working out good now, you know? It's nice that my internet decided to really come in clutch here, you know? Because I needed to fuck up this Lulu bad. I don't know. I was gonna do like 2 Lulus, but like I also want to make sure that like this Lulu looks correct or whatever. Maybe I'll make a sketch of like one where I go like bananas with the concept or whatever, you know? Maybe I'll just post it, like, later, or something like that. Because it's weird how, like, early the sun sets here. Well, I mean, daylight savings and all that is a lot stranger when, like, you can see the seasons and stuff like that. 'cause, yeah, that's why I was gone for so long. If you were ever wondering, it was because I was moving. Did a whole road trip across the US or whatever. Well, not across, it's more like up. So, that's why I was gone for so long. Or whatever, yeah. Anyway, snow is so weird. I mean, like, I've seen snow before, but, like, it's not something very common to me. But, like, I'm gonna experience, like, probably a fuck ton of it, because we're up north and it's winter. Well, it's still autumn in my heart. It's autumn in my heart of hearts. But according to I don't know. Well, literally every company or whatever, it's Christmas already, so. Yo ho ho. I wanted to do like at least, like, 'cause a month's like 3 weeks or whatever, you know? So I was, like, the idea of, like, post, like, these polls or whatever, right, is that since it's my birthday month, and, you know, all that shit or whatever, yeah, I want to do something that I really like or whatever, something that's comfortable for me, and that would be Yorls. That's in my wheelhouse. Like, I've at least drawn, like, every character from that list or whatever, you know? So, go and vote on the other ones, or whatever, because we're gonna be making at least 2 more Yordle streams, and that'll be like the catalyst, essentially, is because I want to do a month of Yordle content before we, like, get back to, like, doing, like, an Olaf or whatever. I don't know. Wait, her eyes aren't yellow. I mean, I can make them yellow, but I'm not going to do that. El Creatura. I don't know how to sit correctly on a desk chair. It's not fun. Anyway. I hope everything's going well in your guys' lives. And all that stuff. It must have been, like, a little confusing to those that didn't read, like, tweets or whatever. I wasn't really making that big a deal of my road trip and all that stuff, but yeah, the reason why I hadn't been in contact with people or whatever is because I was moving stuff in. We're still moving, but, like, I finally got my computer set up and that kind of thing, which is why this whole mess of, like, a delay or whatever happened. But it's fixed for the most part, I believe, and maybe I can even, like, use my computer to play, like, a League of Legends game or whatever. I don't know. I don't think I'm actually gonna ever play League of Legends on stream. It sounds a little weird. I like care about this game, but I also like extremely don't really want to care at all. I guess I'm a little lazy or whatever. Though, I don't think lazy's the right word. I'll think of it maybe later, and I'll be like, oh, no, it's prosthetic. That's what I was thinking of. That's the word I was thinking of. But, whatever. Let's see. Oh shit. We don't want to do that. Which is I put all my layers together, chat. It's a fun game where literally everything goes wrong. That's good. There's a fuck ton of hair. So we want to do something with that, yeah? Anyway. Her hair is vaguely supposed to look like tree roots too, but like roots are really complicated and I don't really wanna deal with that. And I don't think like it would be all that like nice to look at either, so like the curls and stuff like that makes sense. But we've got like wide eyes that like permanently give her a very unhinged kind of look to her. Her hair is such a large volume of her character, so we're kind of just experimenting, kind of working it all in there. She's got purple hair and pronouns, guys. It's the funniest joke I've ever made this year. Though this year's is wrapping up fast. Anyway, I guess this is my belated birthday stream, so happy birthday to me. I turned a cool 19. And I'm drawing Lulu, so I mean, she's not gonna turn out too bad, but I might want to go in and change her, and I'm saying this as I'm drawing her, so probably not the best sign in the world, but you know, whatever. Artists can be fickle. When I'm talking about artists, I'm just talking about me specifically. I'm sure that other people can get it correct or whatever, like see the vision inside their head and go for it and do it. I've got like a vision, but like it's not entirely clear. But yeah. Thank you for the happy birthday message. Really appreciate it. It's strange. But we're gonna try and get into our regular schedule soon, you know? Though I'm not really sure what to do about the whole Twitter situation and how that's kind of going up in flames. Because, like, I have a Tumblr, it's just that it's not... It's harder to interact with people on there. Which is, like, a bonus for some people, but, like, for me, you know, I enjoyed, like, getting to know people and that kind of thing. Like, if it wasn't for League Twitter, I wouldn't be able to find, like, any of you guys, I don't think. Maybe one day I'll try video essays. I mean, like, I do want to, like, attempt it. I have to make a script and all that. But, like, also, I probably need to, like, hire an editor or something, because I want it to, like, actually make sense. Like, I feel like these streams are a pretty good, like, stream of consciousness on my part or whatever, yeah. But it's a whole thing of like, it's the important bits of information, all my like actual like analytical details are kind of also hidden in the midst of like me forgetting what I'm saying or using the wrong words to explain what I'm feeling. And all that stuff. And I want to make myself as articulate as possible. I mean, it's just a personal thing, I think. Because I don't like being misunderstood in any way. And it's weird. But it really isn't, in a way, you know? I mean, everyone wants to be understood at the end of the day. Well, at least in, like, some capacity. Like, you want people to know what you're going for, and that kind of thing. In like, text messages and all that stuff, it's really hard to convey the emotion that comes with said things, but with stream of consciousness, it doesn't have the same punch that, like, a carefully worded, like, summary would give, and that kind of thing. And it kind of is kind of whatever, you know? Even in this, like, thing here, I can't even really tell you what's going on, really. Like, how to correctly express said feelings to you, the audience. I'm not even sure if you really even care about this. But, like, I'm gonna tell it to you anyway. It's really hard for me to know what's entertaining and not. And if you even want entertainment. I mean, I guess it's about, like, what kind of audience you build and all that stuff. And I'm really early in the stages of it, you know? But I want to, like, continue with this. I want to build something. It might not be, like, an actual, like, profitable venture or anything like that. I mean, of course, I would love for that to happen, you know? But I like sharing art with you guys. I want you guys to be excited when I am excited and that kind of thing. I don't know exactly what you want, but also at the same time, I'm probably not going to ever give you exactly what you want. At least I don't know. At least I don't think so. Because, I mean, like, the ideas that I have come up in my head, and the ones I don't think of, I charge money for. Also, like, the good thing about, like, getting a bigger audience means that I won't be, like, sucking the dollars out of, like, just a few people. Because I don't want you guys to, like, be going through that, right? Like, I don't think it's that fair. Banner, what? Anyway, I'm trying to give Lulu more colors here. I don't know if it's working or not, but, like, also it's... Like, I'm fighting myself here, because, like, my instinct tells me, no, don't add more colors, and then the other side of me is like, yes, add more colors. Whatever. My... Actually, that is kind of weird. My screen is... Maybe it's because my brightness on my iPad gives it a different look, but to me it's looking a lot different. Like, brighter? I guess it's not a 100% accurate assessment, or maybe I just need to like fiddle with my iPad settings. But then again, that will like make all my art look ugly, I guess. Ugh. I don't want to do that. But I do want to like make the stream better. I don't want it to crash every 5 seconds. But currently it's not doing that, so like I'm good on that front for now. Yeah, it looks better. I wish there was a, like a sim speed up timer in real life. It'd make things a lot easier. But, I mean, it would also make certain things harder, so, you know. You take the bad with the good. Though, I mean, I don't think my art process is, like, really exciting enough to warrant, like a speed paint style video. I don't even watch speed paints anymore. But, let's see. Oh, also, I wanted, like, everything of Lulu's to feel personal. Especially her weapon. Like, there's, like, one part of me that wanted to keep, like, just, like, a stick appearance or whatever that she found on the ground and was like, ooh, yeah. Because, like, that's a pretty common, like, thing that people do anyhow. But, I also just kind of wanted a different silhouette for her. Because, like, Soraka also has a walking stick. And, you know, you don't really want them to have any visual parallels. It's not like they have really anything in common in terms of lore or anything like that. like they're purple and they're healers. But like aside from that, they aren't really any different. Also, Caitlyn's theme fucking rules, man. One day if I do Yordle markings, Lulu will definitely have stripes somewhere in her design again. Because, like, her, like, I really like the idea, like, of her being, like, kind of a Cheshire kind of cat or whatever. Oh, you know what I should do? Let's get up. This should have probably been my first thing, right? But let's get that lock-in screen theme, huh? That's pretty cool, actually. I mean, it's hard to say anything, really. Also, her original splash art really gives, like, the, what's it called, Rayman Legends feel. Anyway, like, it's all very, like, by the books magic-like, but you've also got the sinister kinds of violins playing into, like, an adventure kind of theme with, like, animal noises at the very end, which really goes hand in hand. Anyway, let's also listen to the Lulu and Shaco one. I mean, it is a Lulu video. I'm not even sure what this is for, but you know, it's pretty. The League of Legends music team really knows what to do with it all, you know? Let's see. I really like the ending here. Is that? Yep. Let's just play Zoe. Oh, did I crack it? No, I'm good. We want to make sure that we aren't crossing into Zoe territory, which is a little, and like, I think we're getting there, like, because really the main thing you want to do with Lulu is not invent another Zoe. Like, it makes sense for, like, a teenager to be the aspect of change, because they really go through it and all that stuff, right? So, I mean, that could also make sense for someone who changes the world around her as she sees fit, but it's also, like, a solid on that one, you know? Let's play Poppy's theme. It's not one of my favorites, but it's good anyhow. Right now, I'm just kind of going through it with colors here, because I'm not really sure what I want the fuck. I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing at this stage. Like, I don't really want too much red in this design, but like I'm also kind of going ham with it, so it's kind of like a what the fuck am I doing? And honestly, I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing. So yeah, that's fun. I just hope that this doesn't look ugly. Anyway, chat, what do you think I should fucking do, man? The thing about red and green is that it can make you look like a Christmas elf. Yeah, no, that's not gonna work. I'm really, I really should have thought more about the color placement, but, and maybe oranges could round this out. I don't know. We all have roadblocks. Some of them are just big. You know, it don't matter too much, I don't think. really need to chill the fuck out, man. It's just a little hard to. I don't know what the fuck's happening currently. Oh, that looks way better. Okay. We would get there. I knew we would get there. I've never come into this scenario. What is this? Oh, vacation Germany. We're never on vacations for too long in Tomodachi life. I was so confused for a second. But I was trying to concentrate too, so sorry for the lack of commentary on our brilliant selection of audio. But I'm what's called kind of an idiot. But also I'm a strategic genius. What is this? Ranking? Rankings board, traveler ranking. Okay. If you guys hear a banger, then let me know. It's so weird. I don't have anything else to say because I'm on like kind of a roll here, right? So I need to get better at banter, I guess. But like after like 3 hours, there isn't much to say, you know? So we can talk about like, what's it called? The new pets. Those are really cute. I want to hook them. I don't know. I'm gonna take a break here, and we're gonna finish up this Lulu here. How about that, chat? Alright? I'll see you in just a bit. I'm back. Let me get back in here. There's a fucking fire in my house. Anyway. Ow, my stomach. Do you ever have that feeling, chat, where your insides tie in knots? Because it's a feeling I know quite well. Shocking, ain't it? Shocking, ain't it? You have a lot more in common than we would become with. It's like we're the same person, me and you. We both don't know what we can do. We're trying our best here. Anyway. I'm definitely adding some of these. Oh, jeez. Back in there. I don't. These choices are strange, but it's really funny. I guess that's kind of the point, though, right? I've never heard this song in game, though. We're going ham over here. It's a dance party. Oh yeah, that was... boombox is for when they're having a friendly competition. Well, no, it's like a rapping thing, except like everyone sucks at rapping in there. It's really... Tomodachi Life's kind of a game that you have to experience for yourself. Because, like, you make the most of what you make, essentially. It's a very good game, but... yeah, I mean, like, go check it out. I think that if you want an actual game to, like, play, I recommend, what the fuck is it called? Metopia. Because that's a full-on RPG, where this is more of a Sims-like. It's a weird thing to call it, but it's a Sims-like, you know? There's only 2 fucking people here. I mean, it's mostly just if you want to see the drawing done at this point. But, like, I do want to, like, the main thing about streams here is, unless I can't continue on, I'm just kind of going until I finish the drawing. I hope everyone understands that in some way, I guess. Right? If I hear some AI generated singing, I'm gonna be used. I mean, it'll be funny. It's gonna be me. Bow, bow, bow. Bow, bow, bow. I'm my poison, yeah. I don't know. Oh yeah, no, there's no AI generated singing, what? That's kind of fucking crazy. Cause I always hear like the, maybe baby I be yours, maybe baby you could be mine, maybe dreams still come true. Bow, bow, bow. Bow, 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 bow. But like, I mean, like, you make your own lyrics. You can make them say whatever you want them to. So, it's not really, I mean, like, you can, the experience is what you make it. Toss that flower in the crowd. Oh my god, it's Duck Sandwich. How long have you been lurking in here? Yo, this shit goes hard. Come on. I need the beat drop. I need to hear it drop. Come on. Give it to me. It's gonna be Maine. I don't... Is that how it goes? But that's sad that it didn't have like a cool drop where it was like into the fucking... Oh yeah, Town Hall fucking rules. This is just called add to the playlist hour. I'm sorry to all those that this has affected, but also we need some jamming grooves, and I don't want to listen to Yinu for an hour, though it is a very good song. Because I feel like sometimes the music can get a little bit stale. But that's why you need like a large collection of songs so you can, you know, flip through them and it'll be something different every stream, you know? Because, I mean, I think like a large portion of you come to the stream to vibe. And like, I don't want to throw off those vibes, you know? We want to keep this party popping like this. You don't stop, don't miss. Ba-bam. I think that my mind's being reprogrammed when this song plays. Like I'm getting my neurons, they're fucking like moving. They're schmoving, and like I don't know. It makes me 80% more likely to bang my head into my fucking microphone. Been lurking for a while, but recent IRL stuff makes it hard to comment on time. Nostalgic comment. Gee, sounds though. Well, I'm glad that you can still like give us some. What? I just need this to be on shuffle.
I wish for a fairy tale life. Jumping jelly sticks. We got magic.
Anyway, I mean, I'm just glad that you can comment at all, you know? It's nice to just have people here. We're all vibing. I hope that we can all vibe together after we go out on a Friday night. Because I did have a little bit of a fun time by myself today, so that's something interesting. But, I mean, it's not, like, the most interesting thing in the world, I guess. I don't know. It depends on your view of that. I think that getting out of the house and, like, socializing is, it's like, exciting. So, I mean, I don't think my judgment's too to be trusted, I guess. Subjective things are really hard to put quantifiable value on, you know? But I figure that some music like this will help, like, give body to the playlist, all that stuff. Oh, this shit goes hard. Yo, this shit goes hard. Meta when listening to beat boot music. Personality chart. It's like how Tristana has red as her accent color and green as her main color, whereas Lulu has red as her main color and her accent color is green. Anyway, I think that we all should be a little bit sillier. Oh yeah, shit. Let's go crazy with Food Mart. The hat shop is it's so stupid. I'm not putting this harpsichord ass song in here. I'm not doing it. Like, I can't in good conscience do that, you know? maybe I'll add Splatoon music to this this playlist. I mean, like, there's a lot that I should add, right? It'll evolve over time. But remember to vote. It's between Teemo, Rumble, and Corky this time. So, choose your vote carefully. And I'll draw who's the winner next time. Well, we're gonna redesign them because, I mean, that's kind of the name of the game here. Though, like, I do want to do other drawing challenges and all that. So, like, we'll do that maybe sometime when I can, like, afford an editor or something, because I think it would be cool. Rumble Bros, now's our chance. No, it's a hardcore rumbler. I can't have you on my stream. Nah. But yeah, it's your chance if you want to seize it for me to draw a mecha painstakingly in detail, because goddamn, I fucking love mecha. It's my favorite genre. It's specifically listed as something I don't ever want to do for a very good reason. Anyway. Maybe I'll be able to finish my other thumbnail, but I'm just kind of rendering now. Alright, I think that this is gonna do it. I'm really happy that you guys stuck through this. So I know that it was a little bit of a challenge in the first few minutes. Well, first few, well, I mean, it depends on your definition of few. But I'm really glad. The sheer complexity of Tristy's ingenious design will at last be recognized. No, I don't wanna... Tristy, I swear, it's not like that. I don't... I'm here, you can start the next drawing. We are... You are... Guys... Stop. I mean... I don't really have another idea for Lulu. I mean, like... Yeah, this is the end of the stream. I mean, like, I don't fucking know what to do, man. Anyway, I did fix the Wi-Fi, so we won't be having any problems like that again, so that's good, right? I don't know. Yo, these knees are having a long competition. I wish I could have seen the thing. I was dead tired. Man. Well, I'm glad you popped by anyhow. Because, I mean, the stream's not the same with that yet. And, like... all that thing. Yeah, I'm not really much of a tech person, as you can tell by our numerous amounts of times where the problem has been something to do with technology. But I'm happy that you guys stick through it with me, because this was a really, like, people really cared about this stream, apparently. According to all of the fucking people who voted and all that. Thank you for the things. I'm only here now because I forgot to turn off my alarm from yesterday. Back to bed. Yeah, you deserve a good rest, man. And it's late. It's late for me. So it's even, well, I guess it's even earlier for you. Anyway, thanks for for the compliment. It's a very cute Lulu. What can I say? Oh, this is perfect music for the end of stream here. I'm glad that everyone was able to somewhat make it. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your night, great rest of your morning, really whatever you do. I'm really happy that people stuck through, made it here at all. It was a lot of trial and error. Thanks for being here, guys. It really does mean a lot. I don't know where I'd really announce streams if Twitter does go down, but I'll figure it out. Usually it'll be same time, same day, unless I change my mind or something like that. Anyway, I hope that all of you have a good night, good morning, all that, and I'll see you guys next time. Snork, me.